love the attitude. I think it's a very energetic dance, and I don't know, man. It's just like, I've tried other styles, but it's always locking I keep coming back to. And I don't know, it's just the energy, it's the acrobatics, it's just that funky attitude. It's, I know it's not a clown dance, but there's that funk, you know, there's that, sometimes that lightheartedness that you can't get in other dances, and yet it's very raw. I think dancers who like get into locking, they develop a strong feeling for it. I guess that's, you know, it's not suited for everyone, but I think if you can find your fit in it, like people who are locking, they really like it.
Like, it's a dance that requires like full commitment, like 100% like submission to the music. It's a raw dance, but it can also allow you to express yourself in different characters, different feelings, different elements. So you could be very relaxed, and you can be very hard and serious at the same time. And it's the fact that you can express yourself with these different emotions.
I think mine would probably be Freestyle Session, 2008. I met a lot of people, I had a lot of fun. Actually, I had traveled throughout the United States for a whole month, and that was the last weekend of my travelings. I've been to New York, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. The last weekend was Freestyle Session, and it just ended my trip so perfectly.
Being a locker and being in this dance has been a blessing. There's been many opportunities like that I wouldn't have been able to do just, you know, working a 9 to 5. So I'd say Just Debout was pretty big to, you know, it was a big event. It was the biggest event I've ever been to. But I mean, you know, it's those moments when you're like, when you meet an OG and you're just chilling at his house and he's telling you a story, or, you know, you go to a club, like an after party, and there's like a really hyped circle and a battle breaks out. Like, those are the things that I remember most. Being schooled by somebody, like one of my elders, you know, in their house, having Gemini come and be like, yo, you know, just straight schooling you on stuff, having Caboose, hanging out with him, and just, you know, just shooting the shit, really. For me, those are the memorable moments, being able to travel and do all these things. Like, just traveling itself is amazing. To know that you can actually travel and do things with the dance, being able to travel Europe for 2 months and teach is like, it's amazing to be able to do that, because you can't really do that any other way that I know, unless you're, you know, a dancer and you're able to go around and share, really. So a lot of blessings. I can't really just pinpoint one major thing. It is, I think, the best feeling of accomplishment for being a locker right now is just really traveling. I still think that for each city, locking is probably not like the biggest scene as compared to other dances. So when you travel, it's really like being a, you know, like kid in Toys R Us. It's really like meeting a whole lot of people at the same time, exchanging. It's just like it's a rush of adrenaline, and it's just really fun, and you just feel much more accomplished. It also makes you vulnerable too. When you travel, you're out of your comfort zone, and it's like, it really, it makes you vulnerable. So you're more prone to like being susceptible to learning. You know, watch yourself dance without the music. If it's just, it doesn't fit. But if you can see, even when there's no music, you can see if you can feel the rhythms that somebody's doing, it's like their dance is speaking to you. If you can connect like that, that's like, it's a very difficult thing to do, but it's like that's part of the next level. Yo, it's not gonna come right away. You know, I said like, in your dancing, don't rush, but in life, don't rush. Like, I started in 2000 for locking. It's gonna be 12 years soon. So it's like, and I still feel like a baby when you see these guys who've been locking for like 40 years. So really, it's like, there's no rush. And winning battles isn't everything. You might win a lot of battles, and that's dope, because if you can do that, yo, respect to you, because it's very difficult to win a lot of battles and get in that world. But I think that's not the only part to it. You know, you have your battles, your battles in like organized contests, but then there's a whole other side to it. It's like, you know, open circles. Can you hang in a cipher, just a cipher itself, without a contest, just dancing like that? But can you also battle in a circle? Because it's very different. Like in b-boying, you know, you can battle on stage and do 2 rounds. What happens when somebody comes up to you and you go at it like 12, 13 rounds? That happens. Yep. You don't see it too much because it's always at the after parties and stuff. But so there's many different aspects to this dance, and it's not just winning contests.
Right now, you know, I make a good living working full time. So I guess I dance in my spare time. You know, like I still dance a lot. I still save money to travel, and I guess it takes the stress away of, you know, because if you're a full-time dancer, you know, it's not easy. And I guess that could be another tip. You know, if you want to dance and keep the passion in it, and you don't want to have to do things like for example, if you become a full-time dancer, you might have to do things you don't necessarily want to do because you make a living off of it. So it becomes work, not necessarily passion. But just, you know, like if you really do want to get into full-time dancing, then just know what you're going to get into. But, you know, if that's what's for you, just do it. Just remember, I preferred to take the safer exit. So I studied. But, you know, dancing, locking really is always going to be a part of my life, because it's always, I keep it a passion. I never do it, it's never forced. It's always something I want to do, because I don't do it like every day I wake up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to practice this week. Okay, that's on Tuesday I go to practice. Saturday there's an event, Sunday another practice. And I just dance at home just once in a while, you know, like I'm in my room listening to music and whoops, then I start dancing. But it's always out of passion. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, coming in Montreal, it's like, it's not a big city for being a dancer per se. You know, if you're in LA and you're in New York, cool, there's a lot of work there. And like you said, it's like, sometimes if you want to become a full-time dancer, it's not necessarily you're going to be doing one particular thing all the time. You might have to be very versatile. Yep. And adapt to different things. And, you know, it's hard. It's hard to do that. For me, I went to school. I got my degree and stuff, more so because my parents were like on my ass to get that done. And there were times when I wanted to quit and just get, like, you know, focus on dancing, but I just stuck with it.
Are you glad you did?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like the reward of completing something is a good feeling to have, and to have that, it's like, yo, I did that, even though it was hard, you know. But you know, I've tried to do, and I'm still trying to work towards, you know, building something with dance, whether it's full-time, whether it's part-time, whether it's being able to mix the two. Like right now, I have a job, I teach in a high school, but they just asked me to like start a 2-month curriculum on hip-hop and funk. So it's like, there are ways around it. If you still have a passion for your dance, there's still ways to kind of, you know, make it a part of your life, but not necessarily, you know, being a full-time professional dancer all the time.
Yeah,
it's not just black and white, there's gray areas too. Yeah. So I'm trying to build that, you know, like I got a website, Scramblelock.com. So if anybody ever wants to fly me out to battles, I'm always down for that. But it's like, the reality is that it's hard. It's hard to do, and you got to hustle and, you know, just find ways to make it work. That's it.
Big shout out to Tash. No, she gave me the love of locking, and I think that's probably one of the best gifts I ever got. Tash, Chocolat, Fire, big shout out to Scramblelock, big shout out to Boom Beast, shout out to Gemini, shout out to Richie Rich, who I've met recently. They've inspired me a lot. Shout out to the old generation, shout out to the new generation.
Yo, shout out lockingforlife.com, lockerlegends.net, even the lockersdance.com. Check out those websites, because a lot of history and stuff and knowledge. I mean, Gemini, Richie, OG Skeet, Caboose, Flo. Shout out to Montreal, Trek, Boom, everybody in the scene here, Monster, Green Tech. Not just the poppers, not the lockers, but the poppers, the b-boys, the whackers. Like, there's so many people to shout out. To Fawn, to Frank Boogie, fantastic poppers. There's just like, yo, straight up, Lockers United. That's it. It's like, shout out to the whole locking family worldwide, the whole funk family, and basically the whole street dance family, because it's like, really, it's like, we're all connected. You might meet somebody that you don't know, and, you know, sharing a common connection like locking might bring you together. So,
yeah, shout out to
Funked Up TV. Word.
Is that good? Was it missing a
Bay Area?